Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
Ah, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Hey, folks, we're bonusing. This is it. Patreon, we're here. Is it cake?
We're here with Queer, so is it cake? We were talking about this already before. It's the stupidest show ever, but I feel this way a lot. I think this with SNL. I think maybe we've talked about this. Is you watch SNL a lot of the time. We have a lot of friends that work for SNL or on SNL. And God bless them. But a lot of times I watch it and I'm like, hey, this isn't good. I don't like this. But it took me 20 years to realize SNL is for teenagers.
It's for young people. That's why Pete Davidson is a star.
Yes, everybody thinks when they were a teenager was the best years. Like I fist fight people. I'm like 92, 93, 94. Those are the best years.
Hartman, Sandler, Farley, Spade, all that shit.
I wasn't even a teenager. I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, you know? And so anyways, we watched Is This Cake, which is such a silly show. In the first couple episodes, I'm like, this is on TV? This is like insane. But I watched it. The kids that I was with, 9 and 5, were obsessed with it. And so they're watching it every night. That's how they like wind down. And then there's 4 adults and these 2 kids. And by the end, we're all screaming at each other like, it's number 2. It's number 2.
Right.
No, it's 3. Oh, number 3. You know it. And you're like, oh, this is for families. It's Double Dare.
It's Double Dare.
Yes.
I remember I went to Disneyland. Schumer and I did a gig, and she was like, let's fucking go to Disneyland. You know, it was in Orlando. We did some big room, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. And I was in Disneyland as a 28-year-old guy going, I'm hungover. I'm like, this sucks. Everybody's fat. This is gross. The rides are stupid. It's for kids. You know, the kids have fun, and they make it fun for you because they're going, Mickey, kick him in the nuts or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same thing. And it'd be like if we were standing here now as like almost 40/M40-year-old men watching Slip and Slide or whatever, Double Dare, going, this is fucking dumb.
Sure.
This guy hosts this?
Yeah.
That's his gig?
I know.
And then you're like, no, he's having a great time. Is it cake? And he stands there for fucking a half an hour and goes, okay, it was number 4. You win.
I will say those cake cunts are fucking talented.
Oh, yeah. Very talented.
Man, they make they'll make the Quran, and it looks like the Quran. You know, it's got death to Jews and infidels, and you cut into it, it's a goddamn cheesecake.
Quran. You like that one?
I like them all.
Hey, all right. Chucky.
I like all of them. What do you
Big
say?
Chuck. I like them all. One of the best Seinfeld lines ever.
What's that one?
With the when George and Kramer's fucking with George's radio. Oh, and he goes, would you pick a station? He goes, I like them all.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so funny because most people are changing stations because they don't like them.
Right. Yes.
Kramer likes them all.
Exactly.
That is brilliant writing.
They flip it on you.
Have we talked about this TV show Seinfeld in a while?
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's very good.
It's good. I had a guy on the road last week. He's like, I finally got into Seinfeld. I'd never seen it before. And I was like, Jesus Christ. He wanted to talk about it because he just saw it, like the guy who just saw Heat.
Right.
I just saw Heat. But I'm like, well, you're at the right queef, baby, because I'm the guy. I know everything. And we really had a ball with it.
It's really the best. I forget what line I was talking about, how it was like the best line ever. One of the best lines, like you just think about the writer's room, how hard they must have laughed. Oh, this is the one I was talking with Matt Wayne, who's another Seinfeld maniac. One of the lines they must have laughed at so fucking hard is the idea they need someone that plays tennis. And so they say, yeah, he played Newman. And then they have to add, Newman plays tennis? Because no one's going to make sense that Newman plays tennis.
Right.
And then they come up with the line,
He's fantastic.
They must have been on the floor, a room that looked just like this, the long table. The idea that like Jerry stops and earnestly says he has to give a compliment to his enemy.
What he doesn't want to do.
Newman is fantastic. And now you have this image of Newman running all over the fucking tennis court.
Gracefully. It's kind of like the same thing when Newman dated his ex. Or Newman was dating Jerry's girlfriend. And he's like, what? And she was like, yeah, he was great. And you're like, oh, Newman's great in bed. Of course, it's perfect.
She broke up with it. He broke up with her.
He broke up with her. That was it.
That's gold.
He ended it. He ended it.
Who goes anywhere with Newman?
You're not a little anything.
It's just amazing. And what was the other line I wanted
It's
to talk
subtle.
about?
The lines are subtle. That's the beauty.
So good. I like them all. It's just so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Now the volume knob fell off. Fantastic show.
Big
Really
coat,
love it.
Big coat. That's my favorite episode too. Is that the dinner party?
No, that's a different one. That's the one with the turning tricks, the parking lot, the Jiffy Park,
Oh, that's another
which is
great
also
one.
a great one. He goes, "If you excuse us, we need to get to bed."
We need to get to bed. He taps the door.
Sex and discounts. Kramer sleeping in his shoes. I'm not gonna be able to fit on this couch.
Oh, he keeps kicking the arm. Oh man.
And then the best line of that whole episode is when he wakes up. He's sharing the bed with Jerry, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he goes, "This patio furniture's on sale."
Oh, that I howled in my childhood room. Also, how about when Jerry Stiller's in bed? And he's like, "Kasha."
Gosh, yeah, that's a big one.
Ah.
That's a big one. Then sharing beds is funny.
Then you watch the DVD later, which I did, obsessively, because back then there wasn't like this YouTube stuff all day long. So you had to watch the DVD commentary, and they did that scene. Larry David runs in, script in hand, and goes, "Say Kasha. Offer him Kasha. It'll be funny." And they're like, "All right." And he did it.
Amazing. And then Jason Alexander couldn't stop laughing.
Yes!
He's like dying.
I love the idea of Larry David like, I need to make this funnier. I'm Larry David. I know funny. And he ran in and made it funny on NBC. He's like, throw this line in. And it killed.
Was my father wearing a cape? What was my father doing with a man with a cape? That's good cape weather. Cool, breezy. Amazing. Just gold. Pure gold. God bless you.
For fashion.
They're wearing wide now. How do you know what they're wearing?
It's a good lesson in, because I've talked to young people that go, Seinfeld, it's like old and there's a laughing audience and there's two cameras and Jerry looks stupid. He's got a fluffy haircut and tucked in, button down. But it's so good. And it's a lesson in like, maybe just because something's old, it's not so shitty.
Very good. All of it's good. I love it.
Yeah, it's better than Friends.
Oh, friend stinks. I'm tired. You ever just get hit with the tired where you're like this? I did all the
hit a
things I could
wall.
do today. And then I got a show tonight. I'm back at the Grove, which you were there last time filming. Who knows if we'll ever see that, but what a time that was. What a
Great
hang.
night. Great
What do you got
night.
tonight? Oh, you're in Long Island.
Yeah, can you tell that? I'm supposed to do that. Now I can't do it because of the Netflix fest.
I'll do it.
You do it?
What's the date?
4th.
4th. May the 4th?
Yes.
Be with
you. And also with you.
I think I could do it.
Do it. Take it.
Well, it's a Wednesday, right?
Yes.
It's a Wednesday. Well, I don't have Austin anymore. My Austin just got fucking canceled.
I heard they kicked you out.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I got to check my calendar, though. I might have stuff cooking, but yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. I don't want to
Please,
go in the
take
city.
it.
I'm afraid of the city, so I love it. It's right down the street. That was such a great hang
It was
that
such a
night.
great night.
Magical hang.
Great night.
I wish we had footage of it.
Me and Matt Wayne, Siobhan, my favorite guys. My
Yeah.
two favorite guys.
God,
Yeah.
footage of that night would be magical.
You got bad tasting guys.
We were playing Keep Off the Ground. You know what I like about Matt Wayne? He's content. He's like happy,
Yes,
much
yes.
to his detriment.
I like that too.
But he's just like a fun guy. He's just happy. He's like, this is great. We're going to the ball game. We're going to the hockey game. I love my wife.
That's rare now. It's almost cool to not be happy. It's cool to be like brooding. Look at Batman now. Batman used to be fun.
Yeah.
He used to have Robin. They lived in a mansion. They fucked. He had a Batmobile.
It's so funny because when you meet new people, you almost want to tell them. You're like, by the way, I don't give a fuck about anything. Just so you know, I don't give a shit. I'm an easy guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause that's
Yeah.
what you want. That's what you want around.
That's what you want around. But everybody's depressed. I'm polyamorous and bi-coastal or whatever the fuck it is. Come on, perk up.
What's like we talk about with like the woke stuff, which that's all anyone ever talks about. So I don't want to go too deep in there
Sure.
because everyone's annoyed by talking about it. But I do wish there was like a hat or a signal or a thing, like a check mark that was just like, you could say all the things. I don't care.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I don't.
The press. Remember that hat with the press
Yes.
on it? Just say unwoke or something.
And it doesn't mean, I don't mean like, hey, I'm a Nazi, throw
No.
some crazy alt-right
yeah,
shit
yeah.
at
Not
me.
insane.
I'm saying like, you can, if you go,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw a fat asshole, I'm not like,
Right.
well, what if fat, he can't control that, or whatever.
Yeah. Body shaming.
I'm not going to go, excuse me?
right.
I might disagree with you on something.
Sure.
But you can be like, oh, yeah, there's a crazy Asian, he had the weird eyes or whatever. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. We need a. Well, the funny thing is, a comedy club used to be that. Like when you walk in these
course.
doors, it's all fucking mayhem and cuckoo bananas. And now the comedy clubs have been infiltrated, but
But it's still mostly that.
it's still mostly that.
The problem is when they take it out of the comedy club and toss it into the world, which happens a lot.
No, the problem is the fucking coos with the blue hair who goes, I'm complaining.
But even that, but that lady, even that lady's fine because they go, okay, you have to leave. You interrupted the show. It's
don't-
only when she takes the video and then puts it on Twitter and then it gets exploded.
I
Because the
see.
lady in the room who's offended, that's just whatever. You're like, hey, you came to the wrong show. See you later. Beat it.
Well, you're thinking rationally. They go home and they go, I got to start a crusade. And
Exactly.
I'll get a-
That's what I'm talking about. That's when you take it. You take it outside of the comedy club and put it into the
right,
world.
Right.
If a woman goes crazy at the club, you go, shut up, you fat whore, get out of here. And everyone goes, ah, ha, 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 and they clap. And she
did that
leaves,
this
and you go on with your night.
Yes.
That's fine. It's when she's left the walls and goes, hey, 50,000 people, or
Build
it's
that
2 million
walls.
people.
Yeah.
This guy called me a fat douche.
Exactly. Well, you know what? I had the greatest compliment. Maybe I told this on the pod already, but I was in La
Patreon.
Jolla, and this guy comes up to me. I'm doing the shirts, the merch.
Yes.
And this guy comes up and he goes, I don't want a shirt. I don't want a photo. And I go, oh, okay. Then you're like, well, I got nothing here. I
Sure.
got nothing for you, sir. But he was probably 65 years old, and he goes, I want to thank you because some of the shit you talk about is heavy duty, but you bring levity to it. It's like, we need levity. Of
course.
I was like, yes, levity. It was the point.
Lovely life.
I'm doing my Q&A now in Phoenix, and, it's like, Elon Musk, Johnny Depp, they're shouting out current events, and one lady goes, Mexicans, and I go, you would look cute in a cage, and they're like, yeah! They fucking love it. They're fist pumping, they're high-fiving all their dumb Mexican friends, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, it's the court jester.
Right, right. You see what Kurt Russell said?
No.
Pretty cool. He goes,
Kurt Russell. Oh, yeah.
the actor.
I confused Russell Crowe and Kurt Russell for a second there.
Yeah.
Just audibly.
Right. Then there's Russell Stover. No. Is that right?
He's a chocolate.
Yeah.
It's bad water.
Badwater Flint. So Kurt Russell they asked him some question on an interview, and they were like, what do you think about Ukraine or whatever? And he goes, I'm a court jester. He's like, I don't want to get into all that because I want you to come see me at a movie theater and like let go and slip into the movie. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to bring light into the world, and you go to work and you come watch me.
Right.
He's like, I don't want to be the news Ukraine opinion guy.
No,
Like,
and
good for you, Russ.
I talk about this constantly, but it's like it's a lost art of being like, I don't know anything. I don't know about that.
I don't know. I
Someone
don't
had
care.
that great tweet. It's like, isn't it funny? All the COVID experts are also Ukraine experts. They just happen to be experts on both things.
That's great.
It's like I'm like I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on there. That's crazy.
Bill Maher had that great point where he's like, when I was a kid, everybody on TV, you didn't know their political opinion, and you weren't allowed to know. Like Johnny Carson's like, I'll never tell you. And now you can't be on TV unless you know. It has to be out there.
Yes.
Colbert's like, hey, I'm all in on this, or I'm all in on that.
Right.
Back then, it was like, don't bring it up.
Yeah, and you really can't be on. You can only be on one channel if you don't have a certain type of politics.
That too. So yeah, strange time. Were you going to say something?
No.
Oh,
I'm good.
okay. I thought I cut you off. Just checking.
It's funny, the thing about like the thing on the hat that says you can say these words around me. I went on a date with a girl and I was throwing around gay and retard, and I haven't seen this girl in so long, and I could see her face getting sour, and I was like, oh man, I'm like, is it because of my language? And I said to her, oh, like, are you cool with me saying like gay and retard? And she's like, yeah, not really. And this is where your influence fucked me over. And I said,
punched her.
no, it was like she was setting me up for a joke. So I said, then you're really not going to like when I call you the N-word later.
Yeah, that's a good line.
And she laughed. And it broke it.
Oh,
And she
okay.
laughed it.
See, you went
And-
so far that it broke the fever.
Exactly.
That's a trick.
It is.
That's like a Jeselnik. People approve of him because he's like, I want babies to burn in an oven.
Yes.
And you're like, all right, I
You're
get it.
like,
I get
that's
it.
so ridiculous
Yes.
that he doesn't really feel that way.
Exactly.
It's interesting, especially with like retarded, which I said in my special that comes out Friday, and I've said it in my new act also.
Same.
And it's hard because you're like, when was the moment? Nobody.
I know.
I never noticed, and no one. You don't get an email being like, from now, if you say this word from now on, it's really bad.
It's fashion. It's like cargo.
Yeah.
Oh, cargos are bad? Shit. I didn't know that.
I had no idea.
Retarded is weird. I don't think it fits with the other ones you can't say. The other ones, it's like this full of hate. People were tortured. People were killed.
Retard's a noun.
No one's being like, let's kill the retards and dragging them behind a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So it's a weird word to throw into the you can't say thing.
And you know who's not complaining about the word retard? Retards. They're like, black people go, hey, we don't like the N-word. We go, okay, we got it, Leroy.
Right.
But if a retarded guy, if he came out and was like, I don't like it, I'd be like, all right, I want to do it again. But it's other people saying it on behalf of the tards.
I know.
Right.
I agree.
It's all very. It's all pipes.
See, the funny thing is, you go, "Hey, lady, are you cool? Are you cool
Yeah.
with these words?" And she's like, "Actually, no."
Yeah.
But you want to be like, "So you're not cool?"
I know.
Like you think you get it, but I'm joking.
right. I know.
You're uncool.
It's the no context culture. That's what it is. No context. It doesn't matter if you're like being hateful or being bigoted. It matters just if you say the word, even if you're kind of like, obviously I don't mean this in a hateful way. You know,
Right.
stuff.
Hopefully, we look back on all this and just kill ourselves.
Funky times. Weird days.
Times. Yeah.
Well,
days.
thanks for being on the Patreon, folks. We really love the Patreon people. I keep getting people to come up and be like, Patreon gay. It really, when you
Yes.
say it, yeah, I guess you could just say it. I don't know. I can't fact check you. But when someone comes up after the show, they're like, huge gay, Patreon gay. I just want to smooch them up.
So how was speaking of smooching, death to Smoochy? How was Beantown? Was it a little awkward with the fam? Because I know you got your family coming out. It's comedy. You want to sell some tickets. You want to do your act, and you got a new act.
Well,
by the way.
the show, it is weird because the shows were all sold out. And then my family's not like following my career. So they're like, all right, well, hit it. We're going to come to the 8 o'clock. And you're like, well, I got some bad news for you. The show's sold out.
Yes. That's
And
a
they're
good
like,
comment.
oh my God, we didn't know. What the hell? I'm like, I know you don't know because you don't ask me anything. If you asked. So then they're like, can you get us tickets? So then I end up getting them tickets. And my parents come, and I don't think they're malicious, but literally no comment at the end of the show.
That is very
Really?
strange.
No comment. And I think I've talked about this before. The first and really like only time, well, first time I saw Louis Snap was pre-cancellation on the tour. We did the Boston Wang Theater. And this guy came back
Wang.
and, hung out and chatted.
You knew
And
this
then
guy?
he left. He knew the guy, got him tickets, backstage pass. And Louis, we were in like the limo or the car. And Louis like, you get someone tickets, you say good show.
Wow.
That's what you fucking do. It's manners. You don't take a free ticket
Yeah.
and don't say good show.
Sure, I'd agree with that.
And it was like, holy shit. But I agree. And now it's like my parents come.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got you tickets.
Yes.
You have to say it. You have to.
Yes.
You
Say
have
when
to
they
be like,
first see
great
you.
job.
Did they say thank you for the ticket at
Yeah.
least?
No.
Wow.
What do they say when they see you though? You go on stage, you meet up with them again, you reconvene. What do they say?
Yeah, they got to say something.
They
They
they've seen you
go-
for the first
What does
time.
it say,
You're off
cold
stage.
out?
They gotta
Drafty.
go. They stand there and they go, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I was doing, had to do the meet and greet." And they're like, "Yeah."
What?
I mean, not much. They don't say anything.
They don't. I don't think it's malicious either. I just
Right.
think
No.
that's just who
Right.
they are.
I think
Right.
they enjoyed it. They just don't know. I don't know. It's so natural to me and most people to be like, "Great show."
Yeah, of course.
Great
of course.
job.
And it's great to you have an in. All right,
Yeah.
he's walking up. I'll say this. It's
Yeah,
easy.
of course.
That was great. Fucking well done.
Yeah.
It's almost easier socially to
Yes.
acknowledge what just
Yes.
happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just easier.
My sister texted me later, like similarly. They left. My sister and my uncle came. They left before I even got to see because they were like, "Well, you were doing your meet and greet." They were kicking us out, which I was like, "Did you tell them we're related?" Like I didn't even see them after the show, and I was like, "Oh God, I thought you hated the show." And they wrote, "No, period." Everyone in our section was laughing. That's weird.
Jesus, that's almost
Even
like
that is
avoiding.
Yeah.
What? I had a friend. I
can't do
showed
it.
the movie to a friend, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for showing it to me. I can't wait for people to see it." Even that is like,
That's a little weird.
but say good.
Yeah.
know.
But I'm like, it makes
right
me
there.
think you purposefully were like, well, I'm excited for other people to see it.
Yeah.
Just be like, it's great.
Oh man.
Do they-
Fantastic.
Do they say it to other people?
I don't know.
Like, does Sarah come by and they go, hey, I like your outfit or whatever the hell?
They did the next day right in front of me. My whole family had a talk with her in front of me. Like, you've gotten so much stronger. Not that you were ever bad, but like it was good then.
Interesting.
And now it's just you've gone above and beyond. It's fantastic.
This is common, though. I've heard other people say this. Like, my family doesn't compliment me, but they'll compliment other people.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm sitting there. My mother does it with sobriety, too. Like, E.J. Murphy got sober before me, and she would be like, it's amazing that he's sober, to see someone turn their life around, and he's around alcohol all the time. And the fact that he manages to not drink but still be, it's just commendable. Never said that to me once.
Fascinating.
And you want to be like this, I was worse than him.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? You know when you have like your core group of pals, your good friends, and then you have other people who are kind of satellite, and you're way nicer to them because you're like, oh, these guys already like me. I'm already in with them.
right.
So these guys, I really got to blow. And that's what it almost is, but with the family.
It's like that with relationships. You get
Yes.
the worst version. The people you love the most, you get the worst version.
So true. So true.
Like, I would never, like my wife, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm beat. I don't know.
Me
I'm just
too.
fucking
Yeah,
doing
me
this.
too.
But you would never do that if, like, you know, if John Stamos came over, you wouldn't be like this, hey, I'm a little sleepy
oh,
today.
no, I'd be eating his ass.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I have a weird question.
Uh-oh.
If someone was like, I'm going to do a documentary about Joe, and they talked to your parents completely separate, and then you saw footage of them talking about you and your career and your accomplishments, would it shock you, whatever they say? Like, do you have any idea or
I
any
guarantee
insight?
it would shock you.
I don't know. It's hard because, well, this is what's weird. This is what's going on in my life right now. I have a movie coming out in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's literally about a guy. It's about a jazz piano player who grew up in Boston and moved to New York and then goes to Maine. I'm literally leaving my Maine vacation to come to the premiere of my movie about my Maine vacation.
Oh, weird.
And in the movie, I like flip out of the family. I'm like, I hate all you guys. You're idiots. Which is a major point in the movie, so maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But whatever.
Patreon.
And I scream at them. I'm like, I'm embarrassed by all you. You guys suck. And so it's a little scary because they're going to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But they don't say anything after a
That's
show.
what I was gonna say.
So
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
I can't imagine they'll say
Yeah.
anything.
finally it comes into your favor.
So it would shock you, whatever they say.
I don't know. I think like, and other people tell me like, yeah, like my cousin is like, your dad was dying laughing.
There
So
you
like, I
go.
know they laugh. Like sometimes I'll see them laughing. Like when we're hanging out, my dad will laugh.
That's
I'm like,
good.
I'm joking.
Right.
But you wish it would be like this. That you are so funny. I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
Man, couple. Sorry.
I was just going to say, maybe he would say it to someone else.
I think he would.
Maybe he doesn't say much though.
I mean,
to
if he was
anybody.
asked about his actual, maybe it'd be easier for him to say it to somebody else.
I don't know.
Now here's the other question, and this is where what I did to my parents because they're similar, and I go, "You never mentioned the show. What'd you think of the show?" I just snapped, and I kind of like
I've
had
done
a moment.
similar, yeah.
And they were like, "Oh my god! Oh no, we
Yes.
loved it! We loved it!" Oh, and
Yes.
they were like flabbergasted that I brought it up, and it was super awkward and maybe a little too harsh.
I just had this exact conversation 2 days ago. I said that. I was like, did you guys enjoy the show? Because nobody said anything. She's like, oh, yeah, we greatly loved it. And then, but my mother she goes like this, we loved the whole weekend. It was great. That's literally what she said. Literally, she's like, I didn't want it to end.
Damn it.
I loved the whole weekend.
Jeez.
And in her mind, she's like, "That's the nicest thing I could say, probably, because I got the whole weekend in there."
Well, how about this? So this is Patreon. I shouldn't be talking about this recording, but it's the Patreon.
Yeah.
So my parents came out to Palm Springs for 2 days. We were there for 7 days. They came for 2. They're like, we'll
Jeez.
squeeze in 2.
That's a quick trip.
They come for 2. So there's 8 of us now. It's Derek, his wife, and his kids, Sarah and I, and then my parents.
Got it.
So we have to take 2 cars everywhere. So the first trip, we're like, okay, here we go. And then my parents got into Derek's car,
Not your car.
not my car. So
Interesting.
as soon as we leave the house, they just get in their car. The kids come with us. And my mother was like, well, Joey said he wanted to come with you. And I was like, well, you could have overruled him. He's 5. So we drove all around town, and she did that for the whole 2 days. Everywhere we went, they never got in my car.
So you feel as if they're like, "Well, we'll avoid him."
It's like if you were like, come down to New Orleans, I'm there with my family, and I just rode with your brother and his wife.
Yeah, that is weird.
And then the Sunday, we're all hanging out by the pool, and my mother's like, well, we're going to go to the grocery store. We want to help, whatever. And I grab my keys. I'm like, okay. And she's like, no, I'm borrowing Derek's car. I talked to him. And I go, oh, okay. And she goes, and we're going to go see the Irish bar downtown. So they just go to a bar for like a couple hours. This is my 40th birthday week. I rented a house. They just take off on their own. Then we're sitting there, and Derek's like, I'm like, this is crazy. This is so weird to leave
Yeah.
the party, the hang. It's a big house, pool, hot tub. whole family.
Get some beers in there. We don't have to go to a bar.
We got beer, we got everything. And then I go, it's so weird. They didn't even ask us if we wanted to come. And Derek goes, they invited me.
Oh.
And I go, what? And he goes, literally, they invited me. And as they were leaving, they were like, are you sure you don't want to go? Can you imagine?
Weird.
They invited my best friend to go to a bar with them. Like, they thought that was like normal.
Now, what would happen if you showed up at the bar like, hey, gang? Would they be like,
I think
I don't
in
think
their
so.
mind, they're like, wow, he doesn't drink. He wants to, but I'm like,
right.
I wanted you to fly here. Why are we not hanging out? I don't get it.
Wow, that is fascinating. It sounds like, obviously, they've got some issues, but it sounds like they think they're a nuisance.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
But even that is actually self-centered thinking.
Sure. But it's kind of considerate because they're like, we're annoying our son.
We
so
don't
we'll
wanna
go
bother
hide.
you.
Yeah.
Right, but it's not considered because it's like, you're not considering my
actual
actual
feelings.
feelings.
That's
You're
true.
considering your feelings. You feel like this weird thing.
Right.
So you're leaving. My feelings are, I want to hang out with you. I invited you to come here.
course.
We're all hanging here. You're leaving me, and then you're inviting my friend. How could that be anything but hurtful?
Yeah.
It's bonkers.
Did he go?
No, he was like, that's insane. I think he doesn't like them now.
Yeah, it's very strange. Wow, this is wild.
They're like, are you sure? Come on.
This is weird, wild stuff.
Yeah, very weird, but hopefully they never see this.
No, they'll never.
$3 a month.
If
Come on.
you're on
They
it, they're not
can't
going to
afford
watch
that.
it.
Yeah, good point.
My parents do the thing where I think they've heard some podcast stuff because they 180'd on me on a dime one day, and they were like, "How are you? We love you. We love that you're a comedian." I'm like, it freaked me out. But
Right.
they do this one now. We'll talk on the phone in August, and I go, you're trying to fill the air. It's awkward. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually auditioning for this game show host. I'm trying to be a host of this game show. It could be a lot of money. It's a stupid show, but whatever. And they're like, oh, there you go. And then 8 months later, there'll be a dead air moment. They're like, did you ever get that game show? And I'm like, no, I would have told you that. I would have led with that. If I got the game show, it'd be a big deal, and we have nothing to talk about anyway, so of course I would lead with that. And now I look like a failure because they're like, oh, you didn't get it? I'm like, no, I didn't get it. They're like, why didn't they give it to you? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I didn't get it. Like, now I feel like a fucking chooch because you keep prying on this game show, but they're just trying to fill air. They're just trying to have a conversation. And it stings.
It's like they had that. They got like a list of things, and they were like,
Yes.
"Oh, game show."
Yeah. Like, of course I didn't get it. And then you start thinking, like, wow, this is how little you care that you haven't put those thoughts together of, like, obviously you didn't get it,
Right.
It'd be like saying, hey, I'm trying out for the football team. And then you see me 3 years later, like, did you get on that? Like, no, I've never played football in my life.
Did you play an entire season of football?
Yeah. So it drives me nuts. And then the other thing I'll say is I did a show in New Orleans for Thanksgiving, and we sold it out. It was fun, and they were like, we want to go. And I was like, all right, that's nice you want to go. So I got them tickets, and their favorite part of the show was getting whisked around because I'm like, these are my parents. Like, oh, we have a booth for you right here. You guys want a drink? And I could tell my mom was like, ooh, look at this treatment I'm getting. And I'm like,
Whisked.
yes. I'm like, how about the sun headlining and all that?
Right.
But they were more into like the booth. We got a booth.
It's so fascinating to me because I don't know. I don't know what it's like to be a parent. Maybe it's generational, but like I have Derek's kids I'm like enamored with. I just love them. And like I'm literally like they're sleeping and I'm like sitting there watching them sleep and they say full sentences of like, I really want to go to the zoo because I like the giraffe. And you're like, wow, this is magical. And they like make a joke. They'll do like a setup joke. Like Brooke, my niece is just like, yeah, I don't know. Things feel a little weird. And I'm like, what do you mean they feel weird? And she's like, and she's like, all better. And I'm like,
that's
what?
fucking great.
I'm like, that's amazing. You're a guy. Like, they're making jokes. And these aren't even my kids. And I'm like, you could be homeless. I would just love the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in my mind, I'm like, I've been to 48 countries. I performed at Madison Square Garden. Are you interested in that?
I know.
You don't have
I
a
know.
question?
I know.
And the thing I always talk about my
Because
mother.
it's you. You're in the family.
It's like I tell this story all the time. Like I went on the world tour with Louis to Europe. I went to Israel, France. I can't even remember. Czech Republic, England, London. 17 days all over Europe, like 10 countries. I called her when I got home. The phone conversation was 2 minutes long.
Wow.
It was just like, wow, it's good. That's great. You're back.
Wow.
Not like, what'd you eat? What was it like? A private jet?
Yeah.
What is it like? How do you board a private jet? What is it like? You have a waitress? I can't even believe
I
it.
know,
We grew up
know.
in Whitman.
Fascinating.
We never even bought a new car, and you're on a private jet. It's insane.
I know. Come on, Deb.
It's bizarre, but I think it's more like social discomfort. I don't know
I
what
think
the
that's what it is. Remember that time I fucked up? This is 20 years ago. You threw me a party and I didn't go.
Yes.
He threw me a party and I didn't go.
Oh, I know the story.
Oh, you know the story.
Every time you leave, he tells me about it.
Ah, shit. But in my head, in my head, I was doing what your parents do. I was being considered. I was like, nobody's gonna go. He doesn't want to throw me a party. I won't even show. It'll make it less of a thing if I don't go.
I got $50 and you not showing up to the bachelor party either.
I haven't bought a ticket, but no, that'll be fun. That'll be great. That'll be a
can't
nice,
wait.
chill time.
All right, we got to wrap up. You got to get to Long Island.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sad. I got to call my mother. And I got to call. I got Austin just canceled. I got London, my manager. My world is crumbling.
We're gonna have a blast in London. I mean, bring the lady. We'll triple date.
I might try to figure it out. She's got stuff going on. Whatever.
Okay.
Triple date. Who's the other?
We'll bring Chuck out in a suitcase.
And one of his bitches.
Yeah, you probably got 19 whores. You're probably dating all the Spice Girls at this point.
Thought you had one of your bitches in here. I did. Where the fuck is she?
But yeah, good
can't
point.
wait.
That was a great little therapy sesh.
London calling. Is anyone hearing this? Do people listen to our Patreon still?
Oh yeah.
When does this go up?
This will probably go up next Thursday,
Okay.
right?
So the gay sets is Friday.
This Thursday.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
All right, 3
Great.
days.
And then we'll do one of my hot gay sets whenever you get around to it. Don't worry about it. Louis C.K.'s in it. It doesn't matter.
That's
no
the next
will watch.
one.
Never
and
heard
that's
of
all
him.
we got. Then we got your special, but we got to figure out like a voiceover or
We
something.
got to do the voiceover. Then we have the other thing, Grove 34.
Yes.
That's just a YouTuber, I think.
Well, I sent you guys all the clips, and I sent you yours, and yours is killer. Your whole thing is killer.
What clips? Oh, the set?
Yeah, the whole fucking set is crazy, and so
Yeah.
much of it seemed like you were kind of going off.
Riffy.
It was
yeah.
great.
What are you doing
Ken
on
Riffy Jr.
stage now? I got a new 30?
I got
How's that
about
work?
35-ish.
There's some
That's
killer stuff at
incredible.
the Grove place.
It's
There was,
not-
there was some killer stuff. The crowd was going nuts.
But sometimes Grove is hard. It's like when it's your people,
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier and you can riff and fuck around. But yeah, I got some good chunks. But it's definitely lacking that like, here we go. It's not the old act.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my shit. It's not the old act.
But
It's getting there.
yeah, it's fun. We're doing it.
At one point, the old act wasn't the old act.
Right,
So
exactly.
That's what you got to remember.
So it's fun. I don't know. It's fun. I really enjoy stand-up comedy. I hate Manhattan. Oh, is that for me?
Yes.
That's
I
good.
still haven't done the math, so I got to fill it out.
Oh, good. Well, yeah.
But
All
it's
right.
here.
Well, that's George is saying.
No, let's
cut
do it on the
and
let's do it
figure
on the
out.
Patreon.
Yeah, here.
No.
Take these check numbers,
God.
and you guys will do a whole thing with
Can't-
that.
People will hate us. Oh, I got the clip. All right, cut it.
Share